Okay. All right. I am live today for another episode of episode number 32 here with the Sunday Brunch Bunch. Might have a lean panel today. Uh, we're talking about the year 2014 in music. And, I only have a few items to show. Some others have messaged me and said they aren't probably going to come up here on stage because they don't have much either. But, that's fine. We can have a short show if that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that Jason may be joining us later because, as last week, he said that he had a lot of examples from both 2013 and 2014. Um, and while we're waiting for people to join the stream, I know there are other competing streams out there and streams that attract a lot more attention. So that's all right. Yeah, Tom Verlaine died yesterday, or it was reported yesterday that he died. Folks, particularly in my generation, and for younger people who are collectors of music from the past, a lot of these folks are, in their 70s and 80s. When we talk about Tom Verlaine and television, we're going back to like 1978, 79, maybe even earlier. So we're looking at more than 40 years ago or nearly 40 years ago. And there's this, a lot of musicians from the 60s and from the 70s. I mean, getting old, and we're going to be seeing more obituaries of these musical icons, over the next couple of years for sure. Just as time passes on, things keep moving forward. Nothing stops. We're always moving, and literally we're always moving. We're energy. We constantly using up energy, and when you get to a point where, regardless of how fast it happens, it's going to be regardless of it's going to happen. So I'm rambling here anyway, but yeah. So I spun some television last night, and it was good. It's not like television is something I don't listen to. I pull out some television once in a while to listen, a few times a year. So it's not like some bands or some musicians, like when Jeff Beck passed. It was a long time since I'd really listened to any of my Jeff Beck material. So I, pulled it all out and listened to it all in one evening. Because for sure, yeah, it's a long time since I had listened to Jeff Beck. But television is something that, at least every other month, I'm going to be pulling them out and listening to them. Really good stuff. Mom might have, well, no, that's irrelevant with when I first learned about them, and how old I was at that time when they popped onto the scene. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the year 2014. And at least with the examples I'm going to have, and I don't have very many. I know I got messages, as I said, from other people who are basically saying, I don't have a lot to show, so I probably won't join. That's fine. But one of the bands I'm going to show has a very long career. Their first record was released in 1974, and they released, they've been releasing records going into, the second decade of the 2000s. So I'm trying to think here. Yeah, their most recent album, and I'll get to them later, is, in 2021. So that's a really broad and admirable career, when you think about, some bands from the 90s that are producing, new material. It's not like there aren't bands from the 90s or even going back to the 70s who are not still performing. But hey, Tommy, good to see you here. It's like they're not creating a whole lot of new material. They're going out and just, playing the old hits, which is fine. I guess one of the things when I think of a band that I grew up with, and when I want to go to a show, that's what I expect them to play, especially if they haven't been, doing a lot of new material. And play the hits the way we all remember the hits. I don't know what U2 is up to when they're like re-recording old songs with different arrangements. That's kind of what happened to Frank Zappa, in my opinion. He started rehashing old material, and it just, it came off as, in my opinion, it just came off as being lazy. And when I get around to reviewing Thingfish, I mean, to me, that's the primary flaw with Thingfish. But yeah, so this one band, and then another person I'm going to mention has a very long career too. I was late to getting to them, so we'll be talking about that person and then some others. But yeah, I do not have a whole lot for 2014, and that's going to be just perfectly fine because, hey, we can have a short episode. And so if you want to come up now, Tommy, I think you were actually getting ready to do your own stream, I think, at the same time. So I don't know if you're going, in and out or whatever, but you were saying that you had looked like you had a lot of material that you were going to for 2014, and you were going to be doing your own stream about it. So at the same time, at least that's what I saw for the schedule. So yeah, I'll get started here. Yeah, shortly, and all right, here he comes. There we go.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Quite fine. I move my camera a little bit. Yes, maybe it's better now.
So it's evening time over there in Finland. What time is it about?
It's 7 o'clock. Little over 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday night. Yes, tomorrow.
Sunday night, yes, it had 1.5 hours before the evening news came, and
Yeah.
after that I go to bed already. Usually.
Yeah, yeah, my wild days, I think last night I was up really, really late listening to some music, which was very unusual for me because I'm usually out by like 9:30.
Yeah.
I don't live a lively lifestyle anymore when it comes to that.
Yeah. Actually, I've been pretty busy day today. I have been running, and then I edited a couple of videos today, and just one is out and one is tomorrow out. I was in the gig in last Thursday and make a video of 3 bands there and interview one band. And
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, I got to catch up too because next week I am traveling for work. So, there's some contests. I just realized though one of the contests I wanted to enter doesn't end until March, so I can delay that. But it's I keep promising, yes, I'm going to do the comparison between the old Calvinwazoo releases by Frank Zappa and then the new reissues, the brand new remastered ones. And I finally listened to and did a comparison for both of them so I can do a short video on that. I mean, I've already reviewed those records, so I'm not going to go into a big review. But
the problem is that you don't have enough time to listen to records.
I know there's so many of them because
many plans, but I don't have actually time that I put it and listen it because I always something to do. And
right, because listening to records to prepare for a Gunkles episode, so like next week we're going to be talking about 1994, the music in the year 1994, and then I've got my other videos that I need to listen to, and I just bought some records. And when I come back from this work trip, I'm going to have records that are coming this week in the mail, and I need to listen to them.
It would be easier if I still work from home, but now I'm working usually in the office. When you
I'm still working
at home, you could play the records all day long.
Yeah, and the weird thing is I don't do that. I very seldom play music because unless it's a CD, because then I have a remote that I can just quickly turn the CD off. If I get a call, a work call, or because I do a lot of Zoom meetings and things like that. And a record, I got to figure, well, I'm probably not going to be called like in the next hour or so. So, because then if I do get a call, oh man, I got to get up and lift the needle and all that kind of stuff.
Hey, you got some exercise to. You have to move like 5 meters to the player, change the side and.
I'll do the track and field with the disc throw. So hi Jorgen, you were also someone who mentioned that you probably will just be in the peanut gallery because you didn't have anything really for 2014. You were messaging, I think you said you had quite a bit of stuff.
Yes, I pick like 10, 12 records here, not
okay.
Much more.
All right, well, that's like twice as many as what I have.
I skipped all the, of course, all reissues and a couple compilations that was released in 2014 with the many bands in the same that were all new tracks there, not some old tracks, but anyway. And actually, I noticed that I didn't have much hardcore record from 2014. I was quite much in different kind of music at that period of time. Couple things, but there are few very good records from 2014.
Well, let's why don't we just you and I go ahead and get started here because, like I say, if it turns out we have a short show, that's perfectly fine. What do we got here from Jorgen? He says I have one record from 2014, Beacon's Electra album Escapements. Okay. And then here I have found some stuff from 2015, though. All right, yeah. So, we'll next week, 2015 will be the year we're going to do. But what do you got? Why don't you start us off here?
I start with the Finnish band. This is Mansion. It's and their first EP, Ancration, is like four tracks, and all tracks are like almost 10-minute long tracks. It's doom metal, and they just released a new album, Second Death, and many have thought that it's the best doom metal album in many years, and I can agree that at least it's better than their first album. And this one have pretty nice gimmick that I haven't seen in any other album. It's have this clear wax, and there's just this little paper here, and it came with slip mat. And when you place the record correctly, there's the singer Alma there, and you put the record correctly, it gave the face complete here.
Okay.
That's quite good gimmick, and I don't understand why they do, when they do these clear records, why they put big paper here and it's messed the thing totally there usually. Especially when you like this splatter colored record and then there's big paper there.
So what do you mean by if you place it correctly, do you not see the face at all unless it's in a certain position?
Yes, the face is complete here. It's the little bit like Alma's lip there.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I see what you mean. All right, now I get it.
And it's
well, that is kind of a neat little gimmick to.
I think this was
pretty clever
one, and I used this slip mat, and this is actually glow-in dark slip mat, so it's you get some light, it flows there a little bit.
A little eerie and macabre feel with the doom metal.
Yeah, this is really good band. I really much like it, and they are having gig in 18th of February. I was planning to go there, but then my wife remembered me. We have anniversary date, and I think I have to cut out Mansion gig there.
You want to show another one or another couple maybe? Because like you say, you got more than I would.
Let's keep the doom metal records first, and here's another one. This is the American band. I don't know where they are. It's difficult to see where I'm. Mount Salem and Endless. This is also female fronted. Those in metal genre they do like to say that. I don't in hardcore genre say anymore female fronted because most of the bands here are higher top have female members anyway. But they only made this one record, and there are rumors that they were in car accident and they hurt very bad, and maybe some of them was died, but I haven't found any information on it. So if someone there knows anything about Mount Salem, is the car accident true or not?
You said this was an American?
Yeah, this is American band, yes. And I think the best song is here, Lucid, is the back cover here.
Huh. They, I'm just looking at some of the entries in here for Mount Salem, but they're mostly focused on the discography and no new. Oh, right. Here's something. What happened? There's a Reddit. The band completely vanished. What happened? Heard they broke up, says one person. What is this? Good band share. Someone so it's a topic in Reddit, but I don't see any.
Yeah, I don't have any information. There were rumors that were car accident or not. but no, so it's complete mystery what happened. The band. If they stopped doing music, have they in some other bands or something? Don't know.
Yeah,
they are
sometimes
really
it's
good
nice
band,
to
and
know.
they have very nice sounding. This singer was very nice, have very nice sound.
All right, so it's not Cookie Monster vocals.
Yes, this is normal singing.
Okay.
Singing doom metal style, not that death metal style that like Jason likes very much. But
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care about that.
All right. All right. So, well, my first showing here is a CD, the only CD I have from this year, and it was a gift to me. And this is Sun Kill Moon and the CD Benji. So this is Mark Kozelek. And for a while, he was going under the name of Sun Kill Moon.
Okay.
And he is a guitar player, singer, songwriter. His style of guitar playing is mostly to accompany the story that he is kind of singing, kind of reciting. They're very interesting stories, very cool and deep stories that are very autobiographical for the most part. And then he's doing a lot of strumming, with that. So there, you can't say that there's some of his songs, have a chorus and, verses and things like that. But, and some of them are a little very introspective and dark. With this record, you've got, let's see, Pray for Newtown is a story about all these other incidents where people in the U.S. shot people, and then it's leading up to Newtown, to what happened there. And he was apparently on the road when, like, he talks about. I even think he brings in serial killers. I think he talks about Richard Ramirez. No, that's another song here. Richard Ramirez died today of natural causes. So, some of these songs are kind of, a little on the dark side. I watched the film, The Song Remains the Same, is kind of a looking back to his childhood. And he's using that Led Zeppelin film as kind of a anchor point in the story. Just they are very, very interesting and deep songs. So when I started listening to this, I was like, wow, I really do love this stuff. I've got a couple other items by him under the name Mark Kozelek as opposed to this. I'd love to get this on vinyl, but there's two color variants that are consistently available in Discogs. One's a blue one, one's a yellow one. So I suppose one is like the blue of the sky here, the cover, and then the other, the yellow of the field here. And the price has been really consistent over the last several years, but it's still too expensive, like $160 to $180.
Too much.
Yeah. And I really thought for a while, because they weren't selling, or at least it was the same vendors, I think, who always had it available. And I did see the price come down. One person, I think they brought it down like to $120. And I was going like, okay, now maybe the price is starting to shift, because I was ready to pull the trigger if I saw it for like $80. But no, price started going back up again. So, but anyway, Sun Kill Moon, really, really good. It's one of those records when you put it on, the strumming can be sort of like background, but the lyrics, you want to sit down and listen to the story that he's telling, because he really is telling a story with these songs. Yeah, that's interesting. That Caldo Verde. and he plays a Portuguese guitar. The instruments that he lists here says Mark Kozilek guitars, Portuguese guitar.
Okay.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. But yeah, Calo Verde is the label with that. Okay, so Tommy, what do you have?
Okay, I think I put like a heavy hitters now. I think this is the best album of 2014, Oath. It's another little bit there in doom metal side. They had one single before this, and then this is actually Die Hard edition. I was very much on this band. So slip case with then the gatefold, and there was even one-sided single with this, and this is some smoky colored vinyl anyway. And this band was coming to Finland as opener for Uncle Acid and Deadbeats, and they broke up just before the gig. And now this lady here, Johanna Sadonis, they formed Lucifer named doom metal band, and then they changed when Nick Anderson came around to maybe more the 70s hard rock style there. But this record is a lot of better than the Lucifer's first doom metal album. But this another lady, I don't know what happened to her. Is he still doing music or something like that? I don't know. The best songs here are Almost Die and Nike Child. This is, I think Johanna Sadonis and this other girl was from German. I'm not wrong there. And then there was like this, they started the Lucifer, the Carcass guys were playing there at least in the first album. This is really good album from 2014, my favorite one.
So, mostly when I think of the various metal genres and subgenres, I'm thinking of male-dominated bands. But when the doom metal bands that you've been showing here have all had female vocalists, is that more common in the doom metal subgenre?
No, probably not. But I just happen to like more female voice than male voices. Of course, it's the songs itself, not who's singing there. The songs
Right.
But at that moment, I noticed I have their like 2 other albums with female fronted albums also, but rest are in except that Russian electronic music. Yes, Lucifer is. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Johanna and Nick is married now. That's true.
All right. So what I got here, this is a live album, and I very much like the blues and blues guitarists. And I just remember when this is the album I got here, Gary Clark Live. And I just remember when he came out with a new song in like 2019 or something like that. And man, I can't remember the song, but it was a very political song, and it was a song that was right for the time. It may have been earlier in 2019. It was definitely released during the previous president's administration. But this is this has got some blues in here, traditional blues, and it's got some more rock-oriented songs. I'm looking at the cover, and I was going through the credits to try and figure out if it would identify where this is, because I'm thinking this is Grant Park in Chicago, and during the blues festival that they have here, because I think these buildings in the skyline, we're looking at the South Loop a little bit there, but I'm having a hard time being sure about that. But anyway, really solid guitar player. I've not seen him live. One year he was here for the blues festival, but then they, with the pandemic, they shut the blues festival down. And then it was back up this last year. It might have been back up the year before. And I did go to some of the blues festival this past summer. But yeah, this is a great festival too. If you ever get to Chicago in the first weekend of June, it's a free festival, and they get some pretty big acts that will come in. And of course, I was talking about people who are very old, from the generation of musicians. Buddy Guy, he has his own club here in Chicago, and once in a while he shows up at these shows, and sometimes you can even catch him in his own bar. But Chicago blues, great tradition there, and Gary Clark has a great tradition of kind of Texas electric blues, I guess is one way to characterize it. But nice recording, double album, Gary Clark live.
Yeah. Okay, I have also something bluesy here, a double album. It's Swedish Blues Pills and their first album.
Wow, what a cover.
Yeah, this is very good, and it's open.
Yeah.
Open like this, and yes, the band
very psychedelic.
Band is here. And the main track is here like High Class Woman, which have very much like Led Zeppelin influences there. It's like as Led Zeppelin was sung by women. So this is really good album. I actually noticed that I have here ticket from the concert from December 2014, €14, and the ticket are now like €35 if you have bands like Blues Pills, size of Brunch coming here. This is actually seem to be picture album. I don't have many of these, but somehow I have been both these as picture album. But sound is okay, no problem with this sound. It's really nice to see them live then. Before they came a little bigger, but.
So I'm just looking them up because, so Swedish band formed in Örebro. Not sure how to say that.
Örebro, I think it's.
But yeah, they've been around so fairly recent, 2011. And so Blues Pills. I'll have to give them a listen because that's probably as I say, I like blues and I like blues rock. And
I think
like
this is
psychedelic rock.
Couple albums after this, but the first one is the best one.
And I like that cover. I mean that
this is really is psychedelic cover. I have this T-shirt from the gig also with this and some gig dates from Sweden, Norway, and Finland.
Did they sing in English or did they sing
in English? Yeah. In English, all songs are in English, and I think this singer here have one split 7-inch with Lucifer. Johanna Sadon is also in.
Oh, okay.
Also, I actually could like it more if it's in Swedish, but this is in English.
All right. Well, now this band I was kind of talking about, without mentioning them at the start. They have a career that goes way back. I mean, their first release was in 1974, and they have releases going into the 20 teens. I think 2012 I looked up, or no, they've got one from 2019. A release. So really long career, and the band is this half Japanese,
Okay.
which it's a brother duo for the most part, and then they have other musicians that come in when needed. But they're from Maryland. It's Jad and David Fair, and Jad Fair is the primary vocalist, and his voice is kind of like Brian Molko's of Placebo. So it's a similar sounding voice. A lot of their album covers have this type of artwork on them, and it's they get classified as where I guess I'll just need to pick an album here and kind of see what. All right, Overjoyed. This is the one that I have. They get classified as indie rock. So, but they do have kind of a post-punk, a little bit sound to them. Yeah, this was one of these albums that I saw the cover in a record store, and I kind of thought it wasn't a bad price. And it's got some cool vinyl.
A little bit splatter of that kind of thing. Yeah.
Although we've got that flaw of the black vinyl that leaks into the pressing. But it cost me $12 for this. But after listening to it, I'm like, okay, I enjoy these guys. I like it, and like I said, I picked up a couple others. Now, I don't have any new or old ones. All the ones that I do have are from like the 2010 era, 2010s. So I've not listened to anything from the 70s or 80s that they did. So and I don't see it. So I suspect it's probably kind of rare. But I'd like to check out some of that earlier material because that's a very long career to keep going. And
that's true.
Making records.
In the 70s, and they're still doing music.
Because if they started in, again, what was their first release? Was 1974. Those were all cassettes. I think their first LP was probably in 1980 or 1981. Yeah. So if they were, in 1974, they're probably in their 20s. Gosh, these guys are older than me, and they're still making records.
Yeah, that's great that you still have the music and the motivation to do new stuff.
Right, because after that's always if you're no matter what kind of writer you are, songwriter, book writer, when you reach that point where you can't think of anything to write anymore, you better hope you got some income coming in from what you wrote in the past.
That's true.
Christoph here is definitely showing or mentioning a lot of records from 2014, and he's always almost batting 1,000 in terms of I've never heard of anything that he ever that he mentions there, but it's great.
I don't read the text here. No.
Like Mastodon, I've never heard of Mastodon.
Yes. Mastodon first album and second were great. It's more into that death metal, very progressive, and maybe there's progressive elements. And
now this one I know.
Black Keys, yeah. Then Mastodon was their first album. Like there was like the big storyline there about that white whale that was hunted. Ahab. What was the name of that whale hunter story? About the big white whale there.
Oh, Moby Dick.
Moby Dick, yes, that's the gay story there. It's a really good album. I saw them a couple times live. There was opening for Slayer back in the day, and once with the Metallica, I think they were playing there. Leviathan, yes, That's the album. Yeah.
Leviathan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which that's what the word means. It means, gigantic, like a whale.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got for us, Tommy?
Okay, I have here little different music. Again, this is Finnish new progressive rock Sammal and their first album. This also name only Sammal, and Sammal means like moss. This is really good band. In their first album, all songs are in Finnish, but they usually have in their albums like 1 or 2 songs in Swedish. They are Finnish-Swedish, at least the singer there. And their latest album, they have at least one track in English. I haven't bought that latest album yet, but probably going to do it anyway. This is really good time. There are now like 3 new progressive rock bands that I'm following here in Finland. One is this Sammal, and then the Maladi, and then Vesilinja named band. That's newer band that I heard was just in November, December, first time. Really good progressive rock band. I actually don't I don't listen to like the 70s progressive rock at all. Only these new bands like this Sammal, and they are very nice to go there. It's quite much different gigs than going to hardcore gigs. That's usually my style of music.
Yeah, the 70s, I mean, there's some prog rock bands that I do like from the 70s. Some of the prog music of the 70s doesn't quite click with me. But, the bands that are more current, I mean, even a band like Tool, to some degree, you could say that they're kind of a prog rock band because their songs they're big. They're both vocally and musically. But it's more of a hard rock. It's more of a post rock kind of thing than the more sometimes orchestral structure of a 1970s prog rock band. So I've kind of noticed that bands like Tool and some other ones in many respects are like for me, a next generation prog group.
I think I only have like progressive rock band of the 70s. I have Led Zeppelin, but someone said that's not progressive rock, but for me it is.
Yeah, that's right. That was just hard rock and for like Led Zeppelin, and I mean from back then, Black Sabbath was heavy metal,
Yeah, that's true. But I tried to find some 70s Finnish bands that most of the 70s Finnish prog rock band, they made in English their music, and I listened. Okay, the songs are good, but those just don't touch me. But there are a couple of bands that made in Finnish, and that's more. I like more of those bands. Yeah. I try to find those original LPs, but quite pricey, from €50 and up. So I'm not sure I'm ready to pay that much. But
yeah, I would that label of symphony, because that's kind of what, to me, what prog rock was kind of all about is creating musical pieces in the same way that many like classical composers were creating. That there were movements and there were pieces, etc., like kind of like that, and they did kind of have a symphonic feel to them. But
my son likes very much like that King Crimson in the Court of whatever the album name is.
In the Court of the Crimson King.
I borrowed the album and tried to listen it, but okay, this is not my stuff.
Yeah, that was an album that really blew away everybody. And the interesting story about that album.
I understand why people like it, but I just noticed it. This is not for me. Better leave it here.
The interesting thing about that album is I think it was one of the first albums released that had absolutely nothing written on the cover.
Okay.
Nothing on the spine, nothing on the front, nothing on the back. And it was just that face that you saw. And, you know, and of course, in 1969, you really couldn't go listen to music before you buy it. So it was like, and I guess the record company hated that. But the band stuck to it, and it didn't sell very well at first because I think because of the fact that there was just nobody knew what, you know, and it's a scary album cover. It's kind of like, oh my God, what do I want to buy here? Well, now this band is a Philadelphia band. I went and looked up some things here about them to make sure. Yeah, they're from Philadelphia and started in the 2000s. And it's one that I've heard other people talk about when I bought the record. And this is it's The War on Drugs.
Yeah.
And this record is probably characterized as this is Lost in the Dream. And again, indie rock. And to me, it's more, I won't say proggish, but I will say it's actually maybe a little more like shoegaze, very dream pop kind of feel to it. And I like it. I haven't bought anything else by them.
Yeah.
But
I know the name of the band, but I think I never heard.
Yeah. So it's on the Secretly Canadian label. And so, I mean, there's a lot of bands like Moondoggies or a similar style. It's got kind of they're from Philadelphia, but it has a little bit of I want to say, a Western rock, psychedelic rock feel to it, like what you might hear from bands that come from the Rockies, you know, and that style of music that they would play. But yeah, Lost in the Dream. It's a double album, so there's some big songs on here, but. I don't know if I want to get anything else by them. Not because this one is bad by any means, but my gosh, there's so many bands, so many records, no time to listen to them.
That's true. That's very true. So little time to listen. But you said big songs, the big tracks there. I have here also one double album that have only 2 tracks, so it's both side A and B is one track and C and D is another track, and it's a band called Bong, and this is album Stoner Rock.
That's another very cool cover.
Yeah, this is really good cover here, and this is really much like the track is Polaris and another one is Out of Ions, and this is really much like droning the same riff again and again and again, and gives you the really hypnotic sound there, and really very little of only singing here. That's more like reading like poem or something, little story.
What's the name of the band again?
It's Bong.
As in a bomb?
Bong, not bomb. Bong, like they used in the drugs.
Oh, bong.
Bong, yes.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Oh, this one. This is really good album, man.
Wow, they have a lot of, and that record there. Well, they have a cover, similar cover at Live at Roadburn.
Yeah.
But this one's Stoner Rock. Okay.
Yeah, Stoner Rock is the album name, and
doom metal, psychedelic rock, and drone is how it's classified.
Yeah, the drone is the main key here, and just same riff repeating after each after, and then
Right.
little moving there, and this is really heavy album. It
looks like on the cover, it looks like psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah, and its cover is made by Zdzisław Beksinski. It's Polish painter.
Okay. I
The
wonder.
Polish name is probably the most difficult names to say. Lot of consonants and zetas and.
Reasonable price. It's still available. Okay.
This could be actually very good to have on CD because the tracks are so absolutely long. Both tracks are like 26 minutes.
Yeah. I've learned that over time with especially live albums by, like the Grateful Dead or something like that. I just would buy the CDs and load my CD changer rather than have to get up and flip the record. And
this is also this, you can tell which side is A and which side is B. So when you put the album on, you can't be like is the song starting in the middle or from the start.
All right.
But that doesn't matter in this case because it's just droning. But really cool experience to listen to this one.
I'll have to listen to it online to see if that's because there's.
I think it's in a YouTube and also.
Okay. Well, this is actually I'm done my last record here, and this is a blind buy that I picked up on a record crawl. There was a group of us in the VC that here in Chicago, and we did a record crawl and visited some new record stores or reasonably new record stores, and one of them was a pop-up store. And I saw this record in there, and I thought, all right, this looks weird enough.
Yeah.
And so I just bought it. North American Poetry is the song. Plus, I liked what it said on the back here. I don't need life. I'm high on drugs. And so the musical artist is this fellow here, Juan Waters, Wauters. And when I got it home, very cool, kind of some glare, but some lyrics and drawing. So it's, I guess it's psychedelic folk. Yeah. All right. It's just like him and for the most part, and a guitar. And it's a South American style of guitar playing. He's from Uruguay, but lives in Brooklyn. He was part of a punk band, and I can't remember the name now. But let me do a quick check here. Juan Waters. I would have to go to All Music Guide, I think, to figure out what the punk band. Oh, the Beats. That was the name of the band, the Beats. But anyway, this really quirky, really funny in some ways, and again the strumming and guitar playing on the acoustic guitar very much. You can hear the South American influence in the songwriting. He's got a couple songs in Spanish that are just really fun. They're so lyrical. There's just like that, like the song Escucho Mucho. And the translation for the lyrics is pretty funny, the way he's singing it. And but yeah, it's just what a great blind buy. I mean, this is such a fun record, and the playing is good. The songwriting is just really crisp. The opening track, "Let Me Hip You to Something," he starts off singing, "I don't like you. You are a fool. Let me hip you to something." It's like, and then he talks about the medicine. Yeah, take medicine. Yeah, and it's just yeah, you have to hear it. You got to listen to it. It's fun stuff. If you've not checked out One Waters, I'm going to say, yeah, you should. You should get out there and find it on YouTube or something like that and give it a listen, because I think it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you said that was last of your albums.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't have very much, so
Okay, and then maybe if I take like 3 albums here and we wrap it up, and I maybe do like best of 2014 video in later this week, because I already have these albums here ready. But let's go something quite much different here. This is band called Race to Space, and their album Is This Home? This band is from Moscow, and this is like electronic, little bit like ambient disco type of thing. And the best track here is like a song called Baikal. And of course, that's the big lake there in Russia. Really good band, and I was pretty stoked when I found this album from St. Petersburg when I was there in, I don't remember, 2000. It was not in 2014 because I was hunting this album sometime then. Really good album, and I think there are 1 or 2 women singing here, and they have made after this 1 EP, and then they made soundtrack LP to 1 Russian film at least. But actually these are really difficult to get, these of course in nowadays, but before this war broke up, really hard to get these Russian bands their albums. And they made
what's the name of the band? Is it Race to Space, or is that the name of the album?
Space. Race to Space.
Okay, is the name of the band.
Yeah, and they made everything in English, and but that soundtrack album that was maybe in Russia, those songs, if I remember right. Really good band, and dreamy like ambient music, and
I like the cover with the the yin and yang thing going on, and
yeah, and the songs are here like Endless Dream, I See Star, Robo Girl, Underwater, and of course that Baikal. I almost bought the Baikal maxi single where was like 6 different versions of the song, but then I decided I buy only this one, more songs. Excellent album, and next one, it's 7-inch. I need to get some Finnish hardcore here. It's Kohti Tuhoa's first 7-inch, and Kohti Tuhoa is now, they are quite, people like them quite much. They have 2 or 3 albums now, and couple 7-inches, and they are in the British label La Vida en Us, and they are doing it quite big now, I think. And their singer Helena, that's the best screaming voice in hardcore at the moment, I think.
The best screaming voice.
Yeah, he's totally screaming all the songs through. At this 7-inch, the 6 songs here, and this is pretty metallic, and this is released in 12-inch now by La Vida en Us, and the sound is better in that 12-inch, and there 1 extra track that didn't have space in this 7-inch. Really good band, but all hardcore punks no Kohti Tuhoa. It's like Do the Destructions, the name of the band.
All right.
Pretty active band, and it supposed to be in Helsinki gig in this Friday, but they canceled the show. So actually that was good, because I don't think I have able to do 2 gigs in the Thursday and Friday. So now I have 1 week space, and next Friday it's Grindcore gigs in Helsinki. So I'm going to see 1 Swedish band and a couple of Finnish bands.
You know, one of Frank Zappa's most famous concert recordings was from a show in Helsinki.
Yeah, and those are in the CDs available. I listened to those. One of my friend was very much in Frank Zappa back in the time, so he played those records to me quite often. I heard them. Okay, and the last one is one band that I found in 2014, and this is like I think this is their third album. They had third album, and there was one split with a band called Conan, and this is like doomy sludge metal type of thing, and this is from Ireland. I'm not sure if it has North Ireland or just Ireland. I don't remember that one. But this is really good band, and this one have their best song, Lost Punisher. They have quite much their own sound, and that band Conan that are like their friends. That Conan have been in Finland like 3 or 4 times, but never Slowmatics. And I try to say those there are a couple of festivals that do this doom metal thing. I always send the message, get the Slowmatics here, but always Conan, not never Slowmatics. Really good band, and all their records are like this science fiction themed records like this one.
Yeah, I like that cover. Again, there are so many metal band covers that I really like, and I would want to buy them just because of the cover. But I'm afraid I would just never listen to them.
This brown record, they have really nice. They do really nice splatter records, the color ones, and their last one that came out last year was with the Swedish band Doomcraft split record, and they did each other songs, like Slowmatics did couple Doomcraft songs and vice versa then.
All right, what was the name of that band again? I'm going to go look them up on YouTube.
This is Slowmatics.
Slowmatic?
Yes, Slowmatics. Yes, Slowmatics.
Oh, hold on, right there. A little bit of glare. What is that? So I can see. Slowmatics. Yeah, okay.
This is really good band. I like really much. I've been getting all their records after that lost that Estron LP, and they are now. I think they have now recorded or going to record new album that is coming later this year.
Okay.
So it's going to be some doom metal for this year. Of course, the Mansion album I already bought, but.
I must have misspelled the name because they're not coming up. It's slow as an SLOW.
Yeah, slow, and then matics, like automatics.
Right. That's what I typed in. I did Slowmatic.
Slowmatics, S in the end.
And wow, they must be so obscure that nothing's showing up in Discogs.
Yeah, they are all in Discogs. Yeah, I put the.
Oh, here we go. I know why. I did slow with a W instead of just SLO.
It's there.
There we go.
Wait. I think that's quite clever name for the band. Doing riff London heavy riffs and slow music. The name Slow. I think it's quite clever name for the band, and they have really much their own sound there.
Yeah, it's like Slow Dive, Slow Dive, and they've got that very noise kind of shoegaze sound. That's well, actually, that I'm thinking. Am I thinking Slow Dive or Slow Dive? Yeah, they're more of a shoegaze, droning, and that notion of diving, but it's slow dive.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I think they have their own pedals made for them, and they also sell those Slowmatic pedals.
Yeah.
If you like to have their kind of sound of in guitars and bass. And
Yeah, I've been to a couple shows where I see all the pedals that the guitar player has up there on stage, and I'm like going, "Holy shit! You've got, it's like it takes up a huge amount of space, and
yeah, because when you go to see those rock bands, they have huge amounts of pedals.
No wonder that they got that kind of music at the the name shoegaze.
Yeah.
Always looking down there. All
Actually,
right.
I'm planning to have here one shoegaze. I don't know Finnish shoegaze bands, only one. It's called Teksti TV 666, like Text TV 666, that have very long songs that like the first 3 minutes, then nothing happened, only riffs, and then they will start the songs. But they made their first EP in 2014, but I don't have that. I have the compilation album from 2016 where the first 3 EP was captured in one double album, and they are going to have new album maybe in this year. They have like 3 guitar players there in the stage, so the sound is very massive there.
Okay.
I would like to see them live, but don't know. Maybe let's see what happens
Well, I
this
just
year.
found out today that a blast from the past, so to speak. We're, I was talking about how Half Japanese has a very, very long career in releasing records. Well, there's this Brazilian psychedelic band, Os Mutantes. Like their first release is from 1969, and they're still making records. And they're going to be in March. They're going to be here in Chicago playing shows.
You have to go there.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Again, and I bought their new album, and I was listening to it the other night, and it's quite good. They're still relevant. They're still making music that is worth listening to.
Yeah, that's good because many of those like those 80s bands, they are now doing albums. They're one good track, and all the rest are just. It's nice to hear a couple of times, but that's it.
Yeah.
That happens quite often. That I'm very much like waiting the Finnish hardcore legends Terveet Kädet. They made the first Finnish hardcore record in 1980. So they are going to have a new album in March. So couple tracks are already out there, and they just sound absolutely great. So, and they have like now 43-year career there, and still doing valid music. That's great.
Yes, especially when they can. There's, like you say, it's something. It's not like something. Oh, you listen to it once or twice and then never listen to it again, because it isn't that relevant anymore. So, what is this here? We got Rita Lee Mutante, especially the video. I don't know, who is Rita Lee Mutante. Is she one of the Brazilian band, the Mutants, or is this something else? I wonder.
Rita Lee could be like singer, and Mutante could be like the song name. Not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll have to
either. But hey,
Rita Lee. Oh, she is Brazilian.
Very, really nice to chat with you, and
thanks for joining. Thanks everyone else out there for watching and sticking with us. A short episode, but
Chris is probably hammering some cassettes somewhere.
Right.
Well, yes, cassettes.
I have one contest that I need to do an entry for, but it doesn't end until March, so I still got some time. Are you doing a contest?
Sometimes, sometimes, but I don't know. I'm going to enter any contacts. If the channel is good, I like it. I like the channel, and the contest idea is something nice. Then I'm going to join. But I have my own stuff here to do, and I like if I do in like Wednesday, this best of 2014 because the album is here, and then I go to Friday in the gig. I make video there, and I try to have interview with the two bands. There's a band called Virhe, and that's my favorite band maybe at the moment. And
Okay.
then there's a Finnish grindcore band Sigurge, or how it said, and they just released an album. So I like to have like 2-3 minutes interviews and then have songs recorded from the gig, and then do little video and then support the Finnish scene, and that's my thing.
Yeah, nice. Well, I've got, nothing but respect for you guys who stay in touch with the music scene and are interviewing and talking to bands and keeping track of what they're doing, because having access to that knowledge and then sharing it with everybody is very cool, very nice. Appreciate
I
it.
have seen so many nice people there in the shows, the bands and talking. Then it's really nice to have chat with the people, and
Yeah.
And of course, those shows where I go are usually there are not so many people there.
Right.
So
right.
You have time to spend with the people, and the players are in same level than you. They are not some big stars. That could be a little easy, more difficult.
All right. Well, again, thanks everyone for participating. Next week we'll be up to 2015. And I just want to, don't forget that you can find me on Instagram at newsdude76. That's newsdude with a Z. Tommy has a channel, Tommy's Vinyl Knot, so I'll be sure to check out. If you are unfamiliar with his channel, please check out his channel.
Yeah.
And as always, remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.